What's up, issue? For today's video with a new Isle of Armor tutor moves team. So, if you didn't know, the DLC dropped a lot of those new tutor moves, and I'm going to be covering it in this video. Now, as I was constructing the teams, right, I'm thinking, man, there's a lot of moves to use. How can I do this in one video? So, I decided to do it in two videos. So, this will be part one, and then, you know, in the next video, probably tomorrow, hopefully, will be part two. If you guys haven't checked me out on Twitch, I do all my live streams there. Come and check it out. Link is in the description of the video and in the pinned section of the comments. Okay, so we got two battles today. What I'm going to be doing, right, is all my attacking moves are going to be based on strategies for these new moves. I'm going to explain what these new moves do and maybe provide a couple of fun strategies to try it yourself. So this was a battle against Rufus on my Twitch. If you are watching this, Rufus, and GG, my man. We got a Galvanic lead. I've got my Weavile lead here. So we got two new moves here. We got Triple Axle and Lash Out. Let me explain what Triple Axle is. So Triple Axle, well, it's going to miss the first term. 100% example there, people. And I'm going to get paralyzed. So while I'm getting paralyzed and a little bit salty, let me explain what Triple Axle actually does. It's a physical base move and it's ice type, right? So it can hit 3 consecutive times in a row. It always does that. Now, obviously, it has 90% actually on each consecutive hit. So there is a chance you won't hit all 3. However, if you do hit all 3 of them, it has a cumulative base power of 120. So we got first hit, 20 base power. Second hit, 40 base power. Third hit, 60 base power. And when you add them up, you get 120. Massive Pimpnite, people. You learned something, and you got some memes at the same time. Pretty good, right? So we got the Kyurem coming in here. Let me explain what Lash Out does, as Kyurem is going to be able to outspeed me pretty easily here. Now, Lash Out is probably best described as this. If you have one of your stats dropped or lowered, right, it'll actually double in base power when you hit. So it's nice. It's a dark type move and it's physical as well. So it's pretty situational. I'd say it'd be more useful in, doubles than singles, right? So going for a Triple Axle here on the Kyurem, and Kyurem's fairly bulky, but man, that Triple Axle does a lot of damage. I see Triple Axle as being very, very powerful because it can get around stuff like Sturdy, Substitute, Disguise, Focus Sash, those sort of things. Like, very, very good, right, getting around those types of things. Okay, so Kyurem's going to take me out with the Ancient Power, and down goes Weavile. Now, the other moves I had on there were just moves to help it out, like Hone Claws and Taunt. They weren't new moves. They'll just help the setup. That was a max attack and max speed set. Okay, next Pokemon here is the Pimpnite, and let me explain what this is. So we got the Electric Surge here. Electric Surge is going to be very much needed on this team. So we got on this one max health and max special attack EVs, modest nature. Now we got the new move here, which is called Rising Voltage, right? Now Rising Voltage is pretty cool. It obviously has a boost in power under the electric terrain, right? I've got Quick Claw on this set, and I'm going to go for a charge. So we're going to go for the charge here. What charge does, it boosts your special defense by 1 stage, and it get your next electric type attack is just going to drop hard. So obviously I'm going to stack that with the Rising Voltage there. Unfortunately for me, the Kyurem has Sheer Colt and one-shots little Pimpnite before it can do anything. Man, this is one of those days. Why does that have Sheer Colt? Anyways, we're going to go into the Klinklang, and more on that Pimpnite a little bit later. So I've got 2 new moves. I've got Rising Voltage and Steel Roller on this set. Now, Steel Roller is very, very cool. I dodged that Sheer Cold, by the way, which is good. I'm going to go for the Shift Gear. First thing, I'm going to boost my stats. I need a little bit of speed, and I need a little bit of attack. So we got max attack and max special attack on this set. It's a mix set. It worked very, very well. It's a little bit gimmicky, but it is fun. So Steel Roller is 130 base power. It's a physical move. Now, this move only works when there's a terrain on the field. So it looks a little bit in animation like Submission, and Kyurem is going to be going down. However, after you use the move, Steel Roller, it gets rid of the terrain. Like, it just completely kills the terrain on the field. So it's very, very situational. But since there's quite a few terrains and stuff getting set up, in the metagame and stuff, it actually could work very nicely. Plus, you could Dynamax it as well, even if there isn't a terrain up there. So now we've got the Linoon coming out here. I can't use Steel Roller, so my only choices are to reset up the electric terrain, or go for a Steamroller and Rising Voltage again. I thought this would be a really cool set because both of these moves work during the terrain. So you could go for your stab Steel Roller, or you can pop off that a little bit weaker Rising Voltage move. So go for electric terrain there, and that's going to be really nice. Obviously, it's going to stop all the sleeping type moves, which are kind of cool too. This is max attack and max special attack. I think I mentioned that already. Yeah, I did. Okay, so we got the Linoon go for the Belly Drum here. That's going to be boosting attack. Now, the only move it's got that'll one-shot me, I know, is going to be Stomping Tantrum. They could possibly go for Extreme Speed here because they know they're going to get outsped. Extreme Speed does an extreme amount of damage, but it's not going to take me out. I've got the Citrus Berry as the item here. I'm going to be healing up very nicely that one. I can go for another Steel Roller, and that's going to easily take out the Lanoon, and it actually is going to take out the Terrain as well at the same time. But that's cool. It's all good, right? It's a very, very interesting move. I really like it. Definitely give it a go on some of maybe your Terrain teams. 130 base power is like no joke either. Okay, so out comes Jirachi. Steel Roller is going to do donkeys against this Pokemon. So what I'm going to be doing, right, is setting up the Electric Terrain. Now, I was thinking, okay, what's Jirachi going to do to me? The best it could probably do is maybe Fire Punch, and that's, about it. Now, the Jirachi, this was not what I was expecting. It's going to be going for a Substitute. So, okay, that's kind of annoying. Substitute is going to be really annoying to get around, and Jirachi's very bulky. So, going for the Rising Voltage. Now, obviously, it's an Electric-type move. It's not Stab on Klinklang, and I haven't really boosted my special attack. So, I'm just going off its raw, max special attack, which isn't anything to write home about. Now, Jirachi is going to be going for a Cosmic Power. So, oh, man, what is this set going to be? It's a really bulky set. So, now go for Rising Voltage again. I was hoping I could get maybe a crit on Jirachi. It still does pretty impressive damage, but nothing to write home about. So, now Jirachi is going to be going for a Wish. I was like, oh, man. So, it's got one attacking move, right? I'm thinking it's got one attacking move. So, it's got Cosmic Power, Wish, and Substitute. What is its last move going to be? Unfortunately, my Rising Voltage fails to take out the Jirachi. Jirachi goes for another Substitute, and the Wish is going to heal up. So I'm wondering what their other move is. It seems to be a very, very stally set. I'm thinking maybe it's a meme set, maybe it's got Doom Desire or something. So go for another Rising Voltage. Substitute is going to fail again. And now Jirachi, it can't go for a Wish this turn because it's going to go down. So it's either has to faint or swap out. So I'm thinking right there, my Klinklang actually walled them. Now I know what the last move is because I did actually ask the opponent afterwards. So I'll mention that as the video goes on. So we've got the Urshifu coming out here. I'm going to be setting up the Electric Terrain again so I could use my Steel Roller move, which is kind of what I wanted to do. And we got that electricity on the field. And now we got the G-Max Urshifu, right? So G-Max Urshifu is no joke. It doesn't really matter which one it is. It's pretty dang strong, right? So I'm going to be having some problems with this one. Now, actually, you know what? I will mention what that Jirachi move is. The last move they had was Toxic. So what they were hoping for was me to swap out the Klinklang and, into something else so they can set up the Cosmic Powers and Toxic. The only bad thing about that was I could easily wall the run. So go for that Rising Voltage. It's nicer because it's the water one and does some pretty good damage. Unfortunately, they're going to get a max knuckle out and that's Klinklang gone. There's nothing I can do there. And they've got a +1 in attack too. So I've got to take this thing out because it is very, very powerful. Now, I've lost half my team, but I've still got some good memes to go. So speaking of memes, we got Weezing in. Now, Weezing gets a cool move. A couple of Pokemon get this move. It's called... let me get it up on the screen for you. Firstly, we got the Misty Surge, right? So I need Misty Surge for this one to get an extra base power. We've got max health and max special attack, modest nature, right? We want to do a lot of damage because we got Misty Explosion. So Misty Explosion is actually a special version. It's got 100 base power. Now, it's not as powerful as Explosion, but it does get a boost from the terrain, which is really, really nice. So I gave it the specs. I got the 1.5 boost from the terrain being on the field, and boy, does it hit hard. So I'm going to hit there by the signature move from Urshifu, and I'm going to go for the Misty Explosion here just to get rid of it. And this move looks pretty cool. Basically, it's like a pink version of the Explosion before. The animation looks exactly the same. I think it was orange before, so they just replaced the orange and the pink. But a pretty cool move you can use under the terrain. There's so many terrain-based moves now, which is super, super cool. I'm thinking maybe in the future I could do something, I don't know, I'm thinking just a terrain sort of moves team, all moves to do with the terrain. I did do something like that in Ultra Sun and Moon, but there's a lot of new ones. Anyway, just sort of a thought there. Okay, so we got Cramorant coming, the best Generation 8 Pokemon. Prove me wrong. And now we got the Gigalith here. So Gigalith is going to have a cool move. Usually it's not a special attacker, but I wanted to run this meme set. So we got Meteor Beam. Meteor Beam is a special rock type move. Let me break it down really easy. It's basically like Solar Beam, right? The only difference is between it and Solar Beam, for example, it actually gives you a boost in special attack. So you use it right, you get a boost in special attack by one stage, and then the next turn you attack. So I thought, okay, a great item to be running on that would be Power Herb. So you get your special attack boost, Power Herb activates it on the same time. You fire your laser and you basically got to do a lot of damage, right? Now, this would be very, very powerful, like, say, something like Starmie, right? That'd be nice, just to boost your special attack. Now, even if you don't want to use it again, you can just go into Dynamax and have a free, like, +1 to special attack, too. So, unfortunately for me, their Cramorant actually is going to dive under the water. I don't want any of that at all. Gigalith is going to get wrecked, and I'm going to be going into Drudgegon. Now, Drudgegon has got 2 new moves. I'm going to try this out. This set is absolute pure scum. It's very, very funny, though. So, we got that a little bit of mold breaking at the moment, and so quite funny, because people like roasting me for using shiny Drudgegon. They're like, it looks like mold. I'm like, well, it does have mold breaking, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, so we got the little Arrokuda in Cramorant's mouth. It's going to be going for a Feather Dance. Like, what is this set? So it's got Dive and it's got Feather Dance. So what I'm going to be doing is the Glare. Now, obviously, Glare isn't a new move, but I've got some other moves that I want to, explain as well. So we've got Glare, we've got Attract, we've got Scale Shot and Dual Wing Beat. Dual Wing Beat hits twice. It's 40 base power, and it's that's practically it. It's not I wouldn't say it's the greatest move in the world. The other move is sort of like interesting. I want to explain that one. But before I do that, I'm going to be going for an Attract. So Cramorant is paralyzed from Glare, and it's infatuated too. So what I want, right, is I want the opponent to basically not be able to do much, at all. So we got the Cramorant, it's mobilized, and the mist is going to disappear from the field, which is kind of good there. And now I can implement my strategy. So this has a King's Rock as the item. Now, Scale Shot is a Dragon type move, right? It can hit 2 to 5 times. However, right, I'm going to hit by Arrokuda, which is going to drop my defense. After you've launched your barrage of scales, I don't know, like 2 to 5 times, whatever it is, at the end of the turn, right, you actually have a negative in special defense by 1, and then you have a +1 in speed. So it's kind of interesting, has that little effect. Maybe I was thinking, right, if it's a slow Pokemon, I can actually boost my speed by that, and maybe make use of that with the Infatuation and, the Thunder Wave as well to drop their speed, and go for this really, really scummy King's Rock set. So obviously there's no guarantee how many times they're going to hit, but I thought there'd be a good chance. If they're infatuated, right, they're paralyzed, and you're firing off Scale Shots at them, and you got the King's Rock, there's not a lot of room for them to attack, right? So we got 3 minutes left in the battle, and of course it gets through all of that and takes my Drudgegon out. Man, this is one of those days. Seriously, Cramorant, I love you, though. Okay, we got Gigalith as the last Pokemon. Now, if you've been paying close attention to this battle, I have not Dynamax yet. So I thought, okay, well, what I've got to do here is I've just got to go straight right for that Meteor Beam and take it out. I can go Dynamax as well just to take it out. And there is that Jirachi on a little bit of health, too. Now, I was thinking, does it have an attacking move, or does it have Toxic? Someone in the chat was saying it had Toxic that time, mate. This is what I was thinking at this time, right? And I was like, okay, I'm good, right? All I can do is Toxic. I'm fine. If it goes for a Wish, right, it's going to need like another turn, like, for Wish to heal up. So we got the big old Gigalith here. Gigalith is probably one of the best shinies in its generation. I don't know, what do you guys think? Do you like shiny Gigalith? So, unfortunately, the Cramorant is going to get paralyzed there. Unfortunately for it, I'm going to go for the big old Meteor Smash, and that is the Cramorant down. Wouldn't have mattered if it was at full health or whatever. That was definitely going to be going down. Oh, the EVs on my Gigalith. That was max health and max special attack. A lot of special attackers on this team. A lot of, like, new special moves, too. And, yeah, that's Cramorant down. Last Pokemon we got here is the Jirachi. Jirachi's only on a little bit of health from that earlier encounter with my Kling Clang. And we can just go for the max Rockfall again. It turned out it didn't have Toxic. It had Iron Heads. Like, well, that's a good thing I'm in Dynamax, right? It's not going to affect me with all that scumminess. And now I can just drop Uluru basically on top of Jirachi. And that, my friends, is the first game. That was really, really cool. A very, very fun team to use as well. So in this next battle, right, we also got like to the 20-minute mark too. I'm glad that we didn't get stopped in the middle of the game. That was a very fun game. So in this battle, I'm going to be able to probably show off Pinchurch and maybe a little bit more. But this gives you a basic grasp on, what these new moves are. Now, there are some new moves I haven't covered in this video. Once again, I will cover them in the next video too. I didn't want to do like one of these moves and then one in this battle. I sort of wanted to do 2 battles of the new moves. Okay, next battle. This one's against just complete random. We got a Slowbro Galar lead here, so I'm going to be going for the Lash Out, and I thought that'd be, some good damage there. But unfortunately for me, it was not very effective because they had a Zoroark. They hid their Zoroark. Man, that Zoroark shiny is looking fresh, though. What do you reckon? And it had Rocky Helmet at the same time. So we got the Flamethrower there on the Weavile, and Weavile almost goes down to that Flamethrower. So, like, okay, There's not a lot I can do. I'll go for the triple axle and do a little bit of damage and, you know, take it out there. I was actually thinking about swapping it out and go for lash out, but I thought they may swap. So, you know, I thought since the first triple axle did that much, sorry, the first lash out did that much, I thought they'd go for the swap, but they didn't. But, you know, that's how it worked out. So I was sort of a bit salty about that. So bring in my Pimpnite with the electric surge now. I just went for the attacking rising voltage here. Quick Claw activates, got that 10% chance, and Zoroark is going to go down. So I thought it really makes sense for them to swap there. So if you notice, right, the lash out did over half health to the Zoroark, right? They know that I can outspeed them and go for lash out again, and they just stayed in. Maybe they just wanted to take me out the Rocky. I'm not sure. I wouldn't have risked my Zoroark, but that was just my thought process why I did that. Okay, so Quagsire completely walls this set. There's nothing I can do. The other move I done was Memento as well. You know, in case I come across like a ground type like Quagsire, and I only had one Pokemon left, or I wanted to set up one of my others. So into Weezing now, I had a good feeling it was going to go for Earthquake, and I'm thinking, okay, Weezing's fairly bulky. I should be able to take this. Quagsire isn't got the greatest attack in the world. Now, what we're going to be doing is go for the Misty Explosion. I do outspeed the Quagsire, which is rather nice, because I think that next Earthquake had a very good chance of taking me out. So under the terrain, with the specs, there's no way that Quagsire is ever going to be living that one, and Weezing goes down. I could have done something else on my Weezing. I was thinking of using another new move, but I was like, nah, I want to run the choice specs and go for the Misty Terrain. Misty Explosion run. So next Pokemon is the Mimikyu. This team was fairly sweaty, like I've got to say that. So it was good to see how well my team was going against it, right? So Mimikyu was a really difficult Pokemon to get around. So I was thinking here, okay, I better attack this with a Rising Voltage just to get rid of the disguise. Mimikyu's going to go for the usual Sword Dance, you know, Sword Dance play rough, you know, Shadow Sneak sort of, Shadow Claw sort of thing. You guys know the set. I mean, who hasn't seen that set? So it's almost as rare as Dragon Ball. So breaking that disguise there, which is good. At least I can land some damage against the Mimikyu. Plus, it's going to take that little bit of, you know, damage from the disguise. Not that it's much of a nerf. I always have people saying, but it got a nerf. I'm like, it's not much of a nerf at all. Like, anyway, so the Pimpnite is going to go down there. I've lost half my team, and I've got to deal with a +2 Mimikyu with Life Orb. Cling Clang time is the best thing I could go to here. All I can really do is go for Shadow Sneak or Shadow Claw. It opted to go for the Shadow Claw. I do have pretty good base defense there. I do live. I don't get critted. And now I'm going to pop my Citrus Berry. So what I can do here is just go... I was thinking about actually trying to set up against this thing with a Shift Gear. And I was like, nah, it might have Shadow Sneak as well. So I'm just going to go for the Steel Roller. Get rid of that Mimikyu right away. Now, that is going to get rid of the electric terrain. That's obviously going to stop me from using that move. But it was really, really good getting rid of that Mimikyu because it's a very good Pokemon, right? You know, a better Pokemon than any I've really got on my team, right? So we got the Slowbro coming in this time for realsies. And I'm going to go for electric terrain. I was like, I wonder what this can actually do to me. It's poison. It's psychic. I mean, they can't use a poison type move. They're going to have to go for a psychic type move, right? And, you know, I'm going to resist that. Let's see what it's got. So it went for the Yawn there, and Yawn's going to get blocked by the terrain. That was hype. So now I'm going to go for the Shift Gear here, boosting my attacks. Like, I'm going to take some risk here because why not? So we're going to get that +2 in speed and +1 in attack, right? So now I can go for like my my move afterwards. Unfortunately for the Slowbro, Zen Headbutt is going to do nothing. I'd say that's the only move they could actually use to get to, right? So go for the Steel Roller. Steel Roller is going to do heaps of damage. Doesn't quite take it out. But man, I was very, very happy with that result, right? So the electric terrain is now gone. Obviously, they weren't going to go for a Yawn again, predicting that, and they went for the Zen Headbutt. Zen Headbutt fails to take me out once again, and we can go for the Rising Voltage, taking out that Slowbro. Man, that was so clutch. Just Cling Clang. Out of this team, right, I'll have to say the set that I liked the best was this Cling Clang. The max attack and max special attack set. I know it was a little bit gimmicky, but man, it was wild. It was popping off. So we got Dragon Ball coming in. Never seen this Pokemon before. I can now go for Dynamax and just go for the Steel type move like right away. I've got a +1 in attack. I've got a +2 in speed. Unless this Dragon Pult's got quick attack. I mean, even quick attack right now may not even take me out, right? I'm a Cling Clang. I've got that thumping 12 health. It could have Sucker Punch. That's actually what I was mainly scared about, right? So I get my Max Steel Spike off. I was like, there's no way Dragon Ball can live this unless it's got a Focus Sash, and it doesn't have a Focus Sash. So I'm very, very happy about that. I absolutely dumpstered that Mimikyu and Dragon Ball with this meme set, which is absolutely awesome. Okay, so we've only got one more Pokemon left. I've still got 3 more Pokemon in the bag, and it's a Cinderace. So it's like, okay, this is a big problem. I know that I can do a lot of damage with my Steel type move, but I was like, nah, I don't really want to attack it. I thought they made G-Max there. I was like, let's get rid of one turn of the G-Max, right? But it didn't work. So go for the Max Steel Spike this time. Obviously, they're waiting till I bring out my next 2 Pokemon. And that does nearly, like, that's like well over 3/4 damage. So I was very impressed by that. I got +2 in defense. The only bad thing was I was on a little bit of health. So Pyro Ball is still going to take me out. If I had like a lot of health there, that Cinderace was definitely not going to be taking me out. Okay. So my options here were starting to get fairly limited. I knew they still had I know they were going to go for G-Max. I was thinking definitely G-Max. So we're going to be going to Drudge. I was thinking if I can get a glare off against this thing, I'm pretty confident it can't take me out in one shot with any move right. And obviously we're going to get the G-Max Cinderace. Out of all the G-Max Pokemon, like I've looked at all of them, right? I'm thinking, I just don't know. I like the big old fireball that's standing. I just don't like its ears, right? But then it turned out to be the normal Cinderace. So like, okay, it's not G-Max. They're just running the normal one. Not that there's too much difference at all, except for the G-Max move. I'm sort of just having some thoughts on the G-Max Cinderace. Anyway, so back to the battle here. We got the Libero Cinderace. It's going to go for a Steel-type move, and that's going to give it a +1 in defense, which is kind of bad because I've got no moves which is actually really good against it all. Frankly, both of them are not very effective, so I'm going to have to go for some really, really scummy plays here. So go for the Glare. That's going to obviously slow the Cinderace down, right, which is going to be good. So Cinderace still has a fair bit of health considering what sort of like moves I've got. So going for the Scale Shot, I can't go for the Attract either, so I just go for damaging moves there. And Scale Shot, I get 2 hits from that. We got the 3 hits, so like maybe if I can get a Paralyze, I might be able to take it out. We got 4 hits, which is absolutely crazy. And then we get 5 hits from Scale Shot. I'm like, man, that was so good. And Cinderace is going to take like the maximum amount of damage. Not that it was very much, but I was like super happy about that. So now Drudge right is going to get a +1 in speed, and it still fails to outspeed the, actually, no, I actually did outspeed, but I got hit by the Max Steel Strike there, and that's Drudge down. So I've got one more Pokemon, and that is my Gigalith again. So Gigalith tends to, I don't know, it tended to come out like last out of all the battles that I did, right, which is kind of awesome. So I was thinking, I can't go, if I sort of like go for the Automize here, I could definitely take that one out. So going for the Automize, I'm going to be outspeed the Cinderace, right? And the Cinderace is a Steel type now. Remember, coming off Gigalith's horrible special attack, even the Meteor Beam wasn't going to take it out right. So we got the Cinderace. It's back to normal now. I've got Meteor Beam. Meteor Beam's going to have the Power Herb, and that, my friends, is the game. Look at this animation, though. Like, watch this animation. It looks super, super cool. So, yeah, you do get that boost first, right? And with the Power Herb, you can fire it off right away. So this is a very, very powerful hit, even for like a, you know, like a meme set. That looks super cool. Like, I really like that animation. Okay, so Cinderace is going to go down, and that's the battle. Hope you guys enjoyed this. This is really, really fun to do. I'll be back with maybe a part 2 tomorrow. If it's not tomorrow, it'll be this week or next week. All right, people. Catch you next time. Peace.